So to start this off, I would like to say that in my original debunk video, if you didn't catch it, I went beyond debunking just Fallacy Man's claims. I didn't limit my video.
We got another debunk, boys. And I can sit here and make skits and use blurred wallpapers and red text to highlight my points and explain why I disagree with Rosie Boy. And I can sit here and tell you that Rosekai used the word fallacy in his video 28 times and based his entire debunk on an argument from fallacy. We can hurl sly remarks, response videos, TikToks, author statements, fallacy accusations at each other till the end of time, but nothing's gonna get accomplished. The only thing that can be definitively proven between Rosekai and I is that we disagree. Rose believes the databook to be a mistranslation fun fest wherein the details of such are to be dismissed as Murata in one statement shouldn't matter as different things are stated in the manga. I believe the databook to be a retcon and confirmation of Boros' power level as confirmed by the author who gave the okay on the Japanese.
Okay, so first off, the English version of the databook is just plain BS. I honestly couldn't care for it because the amount of mistranslations is absolutely astonishing. Therefore, we'll be using the raw Japanese databook like you should. Before that, I would like to give the disclaimer that when using databooks, you have to take them with a grain of salt. Because, for example, in this specific case, Boros only demonstrated continental feats and stated multi-continental feats. To top that off with a databook to buff a character even more is typically not considered canon, take Itachi's Susanoo entry, or when he was stated to be omnipotent in the databooks, but it's whatever, we move. Now if you take a close look at the statement in question, the Japanese lettering spells out the roar of despair that scorches the earth. To scorch does not mean to destroy, it literally means to burn the surface of. And even if you take the alternate statement, which would be defined as this was the attack in blind rage that would have ruined the earth, to ruin in this context would not mean to destroy, but rather to shave the earth as pointed in Fallacy Man's video. In Japanese, there are a multitude of ways to express destruction, and given this specific lettering, it's not one of them. Here's even the specific word with synonyms and definitions, and nowhere on there is destroy or blow up. The webcomic and manga are the highest construct of canon material.
Why? Where'd the author say this? Also, Boros says this in the anime.
And Boros' statement in the anime is contradictory to the manga, which is superior in canon material, since one in Murata worked on the manga but not the anime. The anime is essentially an adaptation of the manga, meaning manga statements are more credible than claims from the anime, which is basic common sense. And again, databooks are not the best source of material, so for my specific video, the low ball is continental, the mid ball is multi-continental, and the high ball is planetary. I took the mid ball, but I could agree to disagree on planetary since it doesn't really bother me.
Ya estaba llamándome, muéstrame el camino que yo voy. Oh, tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso. Oh yeah, ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Esto hay que tomarlo.
attack was minimum multi-continental. And what not a lot of people look at is that Boros states he'll wipe Saitama and the planet surface away with the attack concentrated on Saitama, meaning more power focal pointed on Saitama. Which would ensue the assumption that the attack is greater than planet surface or multi-continental level. For example, take a two-dimensional square of brick and put another smaller square of steel on the inside. Focusing solely on the steel and being able to break the brick in addition to the steel is much more impressive than just breaking the steel itself. That is why, in addition to some other scans, I personally have Boros and Saitama as low-balled multi-continental, mid-balled planetary, and high-balled Starbucks.
Pasito a pasito, suave suavecito, nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Y es que esa belleza es un rompecabezas, pero para montarlo aquí tengo la pieza. Despacito, quiero respirar tu fuego despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firma las paredes de tu laberinto. Vamos a hacerlo en una playa en Puerto Rico, hasta que las olas griten ay bendito, para que mi sello se quede contigo. Pasito a pasito, suave suavecito, lo vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Enseñas a mi boca tus lugares favoritos. Pasito a pasito, suave suavecito, lo vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Tocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
At the table doing shots, tripping fast and then we talk slow. Come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop, and the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. And now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bedsheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. I'm in love with your body. So for hours and hours about the sweet and the sour and how your family's doing okay. And even getting a taxi, kissing the backseat, tell the driver make the radio play. And I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on now, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead.
Guidebook that came out that said, oh, he could either destroy the surface or the entire planet of the Earth with his attack, and then the anime said, I'll just destroy you with this entire planet, and we thought that was it. That was the limit of Boros' power. However, we actually learn something much different about Boros.
Come on, be my baby, come on. 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 I'm in love with the shape of you. You push and pull like a magnet. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room. Now my bed sheets smell like you. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Come on, be my baby. Come on, come on. I'm in love with your body. Come on, be my baby. Come on, come on. I'm in love with your body. Come on, be my baby. Come on, I'm in love with your body. Every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you.
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel us? And now the star, you fade away. Afraid our aim is out of sight. Wanna see us alive.
Character.
To my knowledge, one has never said Saitama isn't a gag character, but also he's never said Saitama.
Where are you now? Where are you now? Was it all in a fantasy? Where are you now? Were you only imaginary? Where are you now? I found you. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. Where are you now? Another dream. The monsters screaming right inside me. I'm faded. So lost. I'm faded. So lost. I'm faded. These shallow waters never know what I needed. I'm letting go. A deeper dive. Eternal silence of the sea. I'm breathing alive. Where are you now? Where are you now? Under the bright fading lights, you set my heart on fire. Where are you now?
全記録書いてるねそれ。でワンパンマンは逆で、世界がもうすごいシリアスで、簡単にまあ人が襲われちゃうような怪人とか出てくるところに、ギャグ的な存在のもう強さがギャグみたいなやつがその世界に放り込まれたらどうなるかっていうのを、まあ観察する漫画っていうか、まあそれ。
Where are you now? Another dream. The monsters screaming right inside me. I'm faded. I'm faded. So lost. I'm faded. So lost.
ギャグ的な存在のもう
I was doing just fine before I met you. I drank too much and that's an issue, but I'm okay. Hey,
I met you, I forget to
Saitama is a parody, but you need further evidence to point him as a gag. Because the statement doesn't flat out agree with both, there's the word or in there, and since Saitama is a parody, the or in question would cancel out the gag portion unless it can be proven using additional evidence. Which is the exact reason I enacted the Hitchens razor and the burden of proof fallacy, which you conveniently left out. I mean, I'm not surprised. Razors and fallacies are quite scary if someone actually knows how to use them, so for Fallacy Man's sake, it must have been easier to just ignore them and cut them out instead of trying to debunk them.
No, I can't stop.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Like that tattoo on your shoulder, roll the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate. I can go down, we ain't never getting older. We ain't never getting older.
Yeah, that's cool, except Deadpool isn't a gag character, he's a comedic character, so this proves absolutely nothing. Here is where Fallacy Man will cut as I explain myself. In all honesty, I really don't want to debunk Deadpool being a gag because I don't know the counter-arguments that Fallacy Man will bring up. So I can't really debunk it, other than to state that he's a comedic character whose comedy originates from his interactions with the audience and his language, a shitload of bad writing, and that comedic doesn't equate to... Yeah, sometimes, when it's not contradictory to the plot. The word of God is absolute when the author confirms a statement that is not contradicted.
Punch Man.
Yeah, no. Wikipedia isn't a reliable source. I could go into detail about the 2008 enactment of the default semi-protection policy, which essentially states that the only requirements you must fill to edit any page listed under such policy is that you have to have an account for 4 days. However, rather than that, let me highlight that the literal source, and that's in quotations because it's not a source, that backs up the gag genre is a literal import from bots, which holds no value since there's no real nor effective source to back it up. It's basically a baseless claim and very easy to edit out. However, I'm not going to take the time out of my day to remove it because in my mind, anyone with half a brain cell doesn't use the Wikipedia page as the base of one of their arguments.
wearing tonight. If you're scared and dirty, it's just right. The way I did before.
I overdosed. Should've known your love was a game. Now I can't get you out of my brain.
Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? Oh, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't talk
Oh, it's such a shame.
we don't talk anymore.
Some people tell me seems like a fantasy, but it may require some love and desire. It's helping to cover me. There's never a guarantee that loving is so easy. Some may define it as sugar and promise, but it's hard to sustain.
According to you.
That's not authorial intent, or rather the death to the author fallacy. An authorial intent violation is only present when an author's statement is contradicted by the source material.
Something to gladden me. I feel electricity. Your lighting is guiding me. I feel that I like it. No place we can hide it. So hard not to find it. The reason why we don't give up on our love is simple. We like the sun and moon. We like to see each other shining bright. We have tonight, tomorrow, and the other days that follow. We have to try to make things right. I'll sing to your life.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and
They're not separate from other abilities, they are simply abilities that are funny, and just because such ability is comedic does not mean it's not limited and bound.
the mold have a seat in the foyer. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder.
Nope. I just think you can't comprehend somebody going beyond solely giving you the attention, and rather instead of limiting myself to your small points, I'd rather debunk the entire structure while... You can see on your screen, these are all the manga panels of Saitama's fight with Goryugen Shoops, and there is absolutely nothing remotely close to a black hole feat. By the way, this is chapter 33 and 34 if you want to check it out for yourself on the Shonen Jump app.
Alright then.
Yeah, no, that's not strawmanning. I didn't change your argument at all, which is what strawmanning is. I solely debunked the scan you used, so it's not reliable, therefore no. As I explained earlier, this isn't strawmanning because I'm not changing your argument. Oh, you think you didn't say you believe that the show is called One Punch Man because you believe he can one-punch anything?
Rose goes on to say that I'm effectively saying, because it's called One Punch Man, that means that I think he can one-punch anything, which is not at all what I said.
Yeah, right. Fallacy Man likes to brag about the video he made 2 years ago, so let's go back to the original point he made that started this entire debunking video exchange.
The joke is that Saitama is ridiculously strong and can beat anybody in one punch. Why else for any reason would the title refer to him as One Punch Man, but no one in universe has if it weren't the case?
Wait, can we replay that please?
It can beat anybody in one punch. Why else for any reason would the title refer to him as One Punch Man? Goku can... Wait a minute, do you see the trend here? Goku is trying, Saitama is not. That's the joke. It doesn't matter the feat that Saitama must overcome, he is always holding back. In his fight with Boros, Saitama is pulling his punches as to let Boros get the fight out of his system.
limitless strength. It's called One Punch Man because he is One Punch Man. No one in universe, Saitama's universe specifically, has referred to him as One Punch Man. Saitama has shown that he can end any fight he's been in with one punch. He has shown 3 objectively factual ways that he is strong enough to earn the title. So it's obvious why the anime is called One Punch Man, and why he is referred to
nations, since it took you 3 minutes to prove absolutely nothing besides the correlation between a character and the title of
Never reminded, never taking whatever you told me. I know what I could be, making emotion paintable inside. Tell me, is this what you made me?
And again, you were the one who argued that Saitama is not affected by evilism. I was just pointing out the fallacy you violated. I mean, a dude learns what the strawman fallacy is and thinks every little thing can be the catalyst to application. On top of that, he doesn't even know how.
Every time you bring me close, and you're thickening the ghost of you, bleeding tires you've done, and done, and done.
Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we set it sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun.
Literally wouldn't though. Do you not understand what it means to be unquantifiable? There is no value. It's unknown. You do not know for a fact that Saitama is a quantifiable tier higher than the given feat. For instance, since this is a multi-continental feat, that wouldn't mean Saitama is stronger than planetary. Or if you believe this was a planetary feat, that wouldn't mean Saitama is stronger than star level. Let me draw this out for you with basic algebra. 10 plus x is greater than 20. Can you tell me that that function is absolute truth? No, we don't have a value for x. We don't have a value for an unquantifiable variable. X could be 5 or even 100, and I don't know how many times I have to tell Saitama fans specifically, but you cannot use assumptions, you can only use factual evidence when My man didn't even try to argue with it. He just flat out denied it without giving any reasoning at all besides, that's dumb. Like, yeah, I think you're pretty dumb as well, but at least I have the argument for it. It's just that that's how scaling works. You can deny it all you want, but at least provide some sort of argument. Again, if you have a feat, you can use it, but when a gag goes outside of their verse, they revert to normal scaling. However, you can still use the past feat.
Summer in the hills, those hazy days I do remember. We were running still, had the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand open.
Fallacy.
Me reading the definition of a fallacy is not proof by example when your argument is based off and violates the fallacy in question. There were no external properties, therefore it cannot violate.
I still hear you in the breeze, see your shadows in the trees, holding on memories never change.
Krillin in his universe.
Right there! Stop there! Play it again!
Krillin in his universe.
In his universe. Exactly, Josh. That is exactly the point and reason that you need to understand when concerning the no limits fallacy. Thank you for proving my point that we need the no limits fallacy. Everyone give the fallacy man a round of applause for unintentionally agreeing with my main point. Oversight Tom.
Krillin in his universe is the strongest human, save for Hercule, who's above Master Roshi. I'm obviously kidding, but Master Roshi is above Krillin. Fight me, that's the truth, but still. Krillin's title as the strongest human in his universe is indicative of something relating to his power, which is what I tried to imply before, but you cut that part.